Hello healthy mommies, good day, welcome to Inyango once more. Today is day 3 on World Breastfeeding Week, and for today we are teaching you how to get a perfect latch. A latch is very important because if you're not latching your baby properly, you might have issues like nipple damage, mastitis, and many other problems which we talked about yesterday. If you didn't watch that video, please head on to it after this and watch it. So let's talk about latching. What actually is a latch? A latch is the process of initiating nursing at the breast. It's the action of attaching your baby's mouth around your nipple and areola. Areola is the darker area around your nipple. A literal target for your baby. The latch allows your baby to compress the milk ducts in the areola and helps your baby to start sucking. It also induces the letdown reflex and helps your baby to get enough breast milk. Without a perfect or deep latch, breastfeeding becomes unbearable because it turns to be very painful. So today we are teaching you how to get a perfect latch in 6 steps. So stick with me as we are going to be illustrating as well. For step number 1, when starting to breastfeed, make sure you're sitting in a very comfortable chair, and you can also support your leg with the low stool. Now, the first thing you have to do is to hold your breast with one hand and support your baby with the other hand, depending on the hold which you're using. Bring your baby close enough to your breast so they can find your areola, the dark area around your breast, without efforts. Make sure to bring your baby to your breast and not your breast to your baby. Make sure you're not leaning forward to give your breast to the baby, but instead you're taking your baby closer to you so that you are chest to chest. Now let's go on to step number 2. The next thing you have to do is to stimulate your baby's upper lip with your nipple. So you try to rub your nipple on your baby's upper lip until they open their mouths very wide. Their mouth has to be very wide. Know that at this point your breast should be full with breast milk, so you have to squeeze your breast to get into your baby's mouth. For example, when you want to eat a hamburger, you know how you squeeze it for it to fit into your mouth. That's what you do with your breast. Most times we make the mistake of holding our nipples and putting it into our baby's mouth, but at this point you're holding your breast after your areola and then putting it into your baby's mouth when their mouth is wide open. If you got step 2 right, then your baby's chin should be the first thing that makes contact with your breast. They must latch deeper below your nipple than above. Now for step 4, at this point, a greater part of your breast and your areola should be in your baby's mouth. Make sure that your baby's lips are completely turned out and no part of their lip is wrapped in against your areola, and make sure a greater part of your areola is inside their mouth and they have gotten a deep latch. For step 5, you have to make sure that your baby's nostrils are clear from obstruction and they can breathe properly, because if your baby is not breathing properly, then they won't be able to eat. So at this point you should have already had a perfect latch and your baby should be sucking properly and enjoying the breast milk, and you shouldn't be feeling any pain since your nipple is far inside their mouth and has passed the hard palate above their mouth. Now on to the last point. Make sure that your baby is swallowing and you can actually hear them swallowing breast milk and their mouths look normal. There is no dimpling as if they are struggling so hard to suck. At this point you have a perfect latch. But if your baby eventually shifts from a deep latch and gets to a shallow latch and you realize your baby is sucking onto your nipple, do not pull your baby out forcefully as it might lead to nipple damage. Use your finger to send inside the corner of their mouth and grab their lip out of your breast gently, and then try again with this technique to get a deep latch. Mastering these steps and doing it all the time might be complicated, but if you can try this for the first 5 or 6 times, then you realize it becomes very easy and you become accustomed to doing it the right way. It is better to spend time doing it the right way than struggling and then having nipple damage and other things which can come from a shallow latch. Hope you learned something from this video. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. And also, if you learned something, I want you to drop a comment of what particularly you learned, what you were doing wrong in your own case, and how this video will help you to make your breastfeeding better in future. Remember, it is World Breastfeeding Week and we support breastfeeding at Inyango. Wondering how you know you had a perfect latch? Join us tomorrow. I will give you tips to help you identify when you have a perfect latch. Let's keep raising healthy, wealthy, and exemplary moms. To have a beautiful day, mommies.